Oh, SBCF, Christmas video 2017. Oh man, how are we gonna start this? Ideas.
Hey, Chris.
Hey Phil, hey, what's up?
Nothing much. I'm just wondering, what you up to today?
Oh, just thinking of ideas for the Christmas video.
The Christmas video.
Yeah.
Hey, I got this absolutely awesome idea.
All right,
Why don't we do SBCF through the years?
through the years, okay?
Yeah, I mean, it's great. Look, I've been working on this script this whole night. I absolutely perfected it. It's amazing. Here, why didn't you read it?
All right, let me try this. Subic Bay Community of Faith started in the summer of 2010 when a handsome, debonair, and charming young man named John Philip Wait a minute. This doesn't sound right.
What? What's
Are
wrong
you
with
sure
it?
about this?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's absolutely
I don't
true,
know.
and it's great.
Well, let me just change a few things.
Well, if you think you have a better idea, sure,
Just
go
delete
ahead.
this
Go try.
and change that one.
Fine, go.
All right,
go.
okay, here we go
Tell
again.
me.
Here we go.
Tell me.
Subic Bay Community of Faith started in the summer of 2010 when an okay-looking guy named John Philip Chihuachaco.
Hey guys,
Hey, Jackie.
Oh, hey, what's up, Jackie?
what are you guys doing?
Christmas video 2017.
Oh, cool. What's the plan?
Imagine this. Through the years SBC.
Wait, through the years, don't we do that every year?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's absolutely amazing. Why should we change it?
I don't know. Don't you get sick of it? Like we've been doing that since 2010.
Well, do you have a better idea?
What about this? Why don't we do SBCF praise and worship through the years?
That could
Okay,
work.
I guess that
Okay.
kind of works. Well, all right, genius. How exactly do you want to start this thing off then?
We could start it off with a video like this. When we worship, it's an act of reverence to God, whether that's be singing, whether that's be dancing, playing your guitar, your piano. When you're worshiping God, you are in awe of Him. You could be doing anything, but as long as your heart is there and it's sitting only for Him and nothing else, to me that is what true worship is.
Worship is not just the music. You know, it goes beyond that. Because that's what people think nowadays, that worship is music. You know, worshiping is more than that in the sense that it's gonna be part of your everyday life. Once you offer it to the Lord, you're worshiping Him. You know, you must be accurate, thoughtful, sincere, authentic, and doing what you're doing, and you're offering it to the Lord.
And He looks at the heart. And at the same time, if we will use our skills together, we are competent and skillful in doing God's work in the worship ministry. The heart and the hands goes together, it gives glory to Him.
The heart of worship is when you finally grasp the intensity of how God is using you. And it's just amazing to know that we are blessed to see. We see transform lives, change lives, and every time I sing, I always get of what more I can do for you, God, because I'm always ready to do more for you. That's the heart of worship for me.
I would like to thank God for the people that He brought in our church to lead us in worship. I can see how God is working in them and through them, that every time we worship, like I can sense God's presence because they really just want to worship God up there. And I'm very proud of them. And we are dreaming together to do more for God in leading and bringing people to have this wonderful and meaningful, exciting worship experience at SBCF.
Well, actually, in the beginning, there was nothing. There was nobody. Actually, there wasn't even an SBCF band, so How I got involved in the SBCF praise and worship was because of an absence of choice. So because there was nobody, I ended up volunteering myself to play the role of rhythm guitar to begin with. And it was actually myself and Pastor Judy at the time, who wasn't yet pastor. And then it was Mizelle, who was one of the lead singers.
Tinake ko yun as privilege from the Lord na makapag-serve to another church na pioneering. One time, akala ni Laika at ni Phil na sira yung mic na hawak ng asawa ko. So, tinetest nila yung mic, tsaka yung speaker. Tapos sabi ni Laika, sabi niya, I think it's not the mic. It's Kuya Judy's voice yung sira, sabi niya gano'n. Kasi basag yung basag yung boses ng asawa ko, medyo husky na basag.
I'm not a singer. O kung ano lang yung kailangan, I was just there, available. And then I don't have a great voice, but I want to be used by God. So, nag-back up po ako.
Eventually, my cousin, Leslie, decided to jump on board, as well as Pastor Noel's daughter, Laika. So it was the two of them that were leading praise and worship at the very beginning of SBCF. Attendance at the church would always fluctuate, especially when you're beginning, when you're just starting off the church. And this one time, Pastor Noel was speaking, and he called basically everybody the praise and worship to come up and lead praise and worship. So we all stood up, I remember. We went up on stage. And then when we looked, it was just my father-in-law sitting on the side, and he was looking around like, oh, I guess everybody's up there.
Hindi ko makakalimutan, when I was singing, practicing, kasama namin si Phil noon. Si Phil yung sa kahon sa beatbox. Nakita niya ako na habang kumakanta, nakasuksok yung kamay ko sa sa aking bulsa. And he said, no, don't do that. That's what I do pag ako kinakabahan. You should be in a worship mode. You're lifting up yourself to God. You're praising Him. You're giving Him the highest praise. Where in fact, ikaw, you're nothing without Him. So you're just presenting yourself to Him. I am here worshiping you, even though hindi karapat-dapat ako to worship Him. He's given me that privilege to worship Him.
And so that's basically the start of the SBCF praise and worship team.
At the time, it wasn't as organized as before. So once I arrived in church, that's the only time I will know what to do. So usually it will come from Phil. Most of the time, I would just sing solo. And then I was requested to join the praise and worship with Jenny, with Pimao, and the band.
Because I am a self-taught cajonist, I learned from a computer game called Drum Mania. I actually am not a drummer at all, but again, because of an absence of choice, I decided to put myself in that role. And when we used to practice, we never did practice the way we're doing it now, because on Saturdays now, the praise and worship group Firewall gets together, they go to a studio, and then they practice. So there was a new song that was introduced, Forever Rain, and I remember it was Wes Pantoja that was doing a guest lead on the praise and worship. And so he introduced that song. The night before, we learned it, and it's a different song. The beat of Forever Rain is tug, 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 tug. That's basically the beat of Forever Rain. And what I ended up doing was tug, 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 tug. And I remember when I started doing that, everybody in the band went and they looked at me, and then I was playing, but I already started, and I remember looking at them, and I'm like, just keep going, maybe no one would notice. Just keep going. Yeah, everybody noticed, and it was pretty horrible.
Wow, the experience was awesome. I always view ministry, all ministry in the church, especially the music ministry also, as a privilege. Yeah, I remember the time that it was just me and Phil doing the setup and pack up. So we carry the speakers, we set up and plug all the musical instruments, and then we practice, and then we lead people in worship. And then after that, we were actually the ones like also packing up and cleaning up the area. And for me, that was fun. Worshiping the Lord is also doing all these legworks, the backstage, the behind the scene work. And that's worship for the Lord.
The spirit of the team is very encouraging. It was their drive to praise God that really made it happen. So it's not more about the program, but more of what's in the heart. So that's really what matters.
The praise and worship band is awesome. The band plays great, the musicians are really good, you know, and the sound, nice. What? Instrument? No, I don't play instrument. No, I don't sing. I have no idea how to play the drums. Nothing. I play nothing. Yeah, nothing. Oh, I thought this was for an audition for Firewall.
In the beginning, it was just like, you know, us going there because it was, you know, we got invited, you know. Music-wise, we were kind of, you know, in a way arrogant because we were professional musicians. We were the ones who would always correct the people back then. Ah, you're not supposed to do that, it's supposed to be this. Because the professional side comes out every now and then.
At first, the songs were new to us, so we're not used to be playing worship songs.
I was intimidated with the crowd. I don't know how to play worship songs because I used to play outside, but I used to like play, you know, rock music, and we play so that we will be noticed, so we will be like, you know, identified. But that mindset was changed by God when I start playing with the band.
There's this burning thing inside us that we want to play this song to worship God.
Eventually, through the years of, you know, being exposed to the word, being exposed to worship music, praise music, bit by bit, you're being molded by it.
It's like God put in my heart that it's not all about me, but it's all about Him.
We grow much deeper in worshiping God, not through songs, but through the message of the songs.
I always want to be a part of Firewall, but they don't want me in. They were saying something about like no rhythm, tone deaf. No, I have no idea what that is. Through you, I can through you. I can do anything. I can do all things. They always say that it's about the heart. Well, I have a lot of heart, but I guess I don't have talent.
One big blessing that we have in the music team is really when Jackie came in for me, because he actually guided everybody there through the devotions, through the highs and lows. I kind of felt that we became more complete, more of a team when we were able to actually set our hearts straight.
The one thing that I wanted to establish immediately was to strengthen the bond of the team members. Although I honestly say that they connected very well musically because hence they are professional musicians. Developing this spiritual bond meant so much more to me than developing their skills musically. Because I was already blessed to have such gifted and talented musicians. The one thing that I really wanted to focus was to develop this bond through journeying with them spiritually.
The devotion that Jackie gives after the practice is it's very helpful too for myself and for everybody else. It's more like a Bible study too at the same time. It's not just practice, and I love that. I love doing that too.
Before, I didn't appreciate my gift, my talent that much, but when I started to give it all for God, it finally made sense. Praise and worship band in SBCF helped me grow not just musically, but I think with serving God and doing the ministry for how many years helped me to see how beautiful God is.
I get goosebumps because I feel that Holy Spirit is at church, all over us. So yeah, I could feel that every time.
Yeah, well, I was still hoping one day, if all of the band members are sick, maybe I can play.
When I think of Firewall and how that relates with the music ministry or ministry in general, when we do ministry work, we are essentially pushing back the forces of evil. And when I think of a firewall, when you think of tech terms in computer, it's this line of defense, protecting yourself, shielding yourself from attacks of the enemy or viruses that come in. And if you look at Old Testament stories with how they go into battle, it's usually the people, the band, or the people with the drums, the trumpets, the lyre. It's usually these guys are the ones that's setting the tempo, uplifting everybody's spirits, that it's go time. It's time to, fight back because, we have God on our side.